Yes, and Jelani Asar here with Income Protection Atlanta. First things first, go to incomeprotectionatlanta.com. Right now, just open up a new tab or a new browser in Firefox or whatever your browser may be. Go to incomeprotectionatlanta.com and join our email list so you can receive your free report entitled Protect My Income in Atlanta, only for you if you desire more financial security in this volatile and chaotic economy. And now let's get to our interview with another mesmerizing Atlanta business owner.
I mean, well, how on earth did you build your sales skill? Because, I mean, you say that it's a skill set that everybody should have and does have. At the same time, I mean, the failure rate is huge. It's huge. I mean, and plus, there are so many people who, they think of sales, and I mean, you want to talk about two controversial subjects, sales and network marketing. I mean, my God, you know? So how is it
Let me redefine sell for you. I'm going to use the word S-E-L-L. Let me redefine it for you.
All right.
I know you're in sales yourself, so you wouldn't feel negatively towards it.
No.
At least I'm assuming you wouldn't. So if you look at the word sell and you say the S stands for show, when people are looking to buy something, you just simply show it to them or you share it with them.
Share.
Second, the E stands for educate. Because you think about, if I was going to buy something, where do most people today go first if they're going to buy something? They go to the Internet. They
check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, find out, which is the best buy, which is the, what do the critics say, what are the reviews, so they educate themselves. So that's what you're doing. You're running that, you're performing that role of educating people. You then help, and this is the key, you help that person. The first L is help that person learn how this product or service will help them in their lives. Not how it helped you, not how it helps the public, how it specifically helps that person. And what that determines is that you are then, as a salesperson, going to talk to that person. You're going to ask them questions. You're going to learn about their life and what they need. And, so for instance, if I met a single parent, I would be learning about whether she had a will. I'd be learning if she had, what ages her children were. Are they driving? If they're driving age, they better have a legal shield plan because otherwise if the kid has a problem, an accident or, a speeding ticket, their insurance is going to go up. So I'm learning about her so that I can help her learn how this applies to her. And then the final L, which is the only place where you need skill, because showing people something, educating them about it, helping them to learn how it applies to them does not take, everybody knows how to do that. They do it naturally. They tell people about restaurants, they tell people about something they bought. It's very easy for people to do that. So the only L that's a challenge for most people is you have to lead that person to make a decision. That's the only place that it's a challenge, and that, too, is a learned skill. Because if you are passionate and you've shown this to somebody, you've educated them, you've helped them to see how it applies to them, leading them to make a decision is not difficult. And so and if you do it that way, what you're going to discover, and it's a big surprise to most people. In fact, I had a gentleman out in Denver who had shown Legal Shield to 50 people and hadn't made a sale. And I go, that's not possible. Statistically, it's impossible that you ran it, because 14% of people want to buy this service the minute they hear about it. 24% of people are very interested. So there's no way he could have shown it to 50 people and they said no. So it had to be what he was doing. And when I watched a video that he made of himself, it was very clear. He never asked a question. He never talked to that person. He never engaged them. Well, now his ratio is about 1 or 2 in 10. So now for every 10 people he talks to, he sells 2 memberships. And I asked him, what did you do that was different? And he said, one thing, I started acting myself.
Interesting.
I just was myself. And that's why my husband, who's an architect and is not a salesperson, is going to do great in this business. Already has, because he's genuine. So, you be yourself and you act yourself. So that takes care of the selling. Everybody can sell. Everybody does sell. If you don't know how to sell, get yourself a 4-year-old, follow them around for a day, see what they do.
Yeah, they do.
And network marketing is the only reason people feel negatively towards it is because they don't understand it for the first, they don't understand why people do what they do. And I think the failure rate is also part of this. When people go into it, they don't get supported. And I don't mean by, it's not holding your hand and walking you through and never letting go of your hand. It's teaching you just what I taught you about selling.
Right.
Teaching people what selling is. It's giving them scripts that they feel comfortable with. It's showing them how to embrace the product, go out there, be themselves, enjoy themselves, have a good time. Don't get all hung up about I'm a salesperson and I'm have to, do something different. Just be yourself with people. And if you've got a good product that people need and people want,
right,
they will buy it.
Right.
And you just have to trust that. What I see is that in many instances where people aren't successful, two things come into play. Three things, I should say. One is they really, truly do not either believe in the product or believe in themselves.
Interesting.
They are trying to really oversell things. And the other thing is that they're uncomfortable with the whole notion of being in this industry. So it's one of the reasons I wrote the Absolute Best Way books is because I wanted people to understand what they're doing when they're out there in the marketplace and how to judge the companies that are out there. And I don't like to put any company down in network marketing. I'm a real believer in the industry. I'm behind it 100%. I think it is the way out of this recession because everybody should be looking at being in business for themselves.
Right.
So this is one of the best and easiest businesses to be in. It doesn't cost very much. It should not cost very much. If somebody's asking you for over $500, run the opposite direction because no business should cost you that much to get into. Huh. And it should be even less than that. Our business opportunity is $149, and that should be about what you're paying to get into business. But what happens for a lot of people is they don't really believe in it. They don't really understand it. They try it, really literally try it, put their big toe in, go, oh, it's cold, and they never really put the effort forward. And it's interesting because if you talk to people like myself who are at the top of our companies, have been very successful in the industry, oftentimes what you'll see is they had no choice but to be successful. When I went into this, let me give you this scenario. It was 3 weeks before Christmas.
Uh-huh.
We had no money coming in, none. Uh-huh. We had $700 on a credit card, and the first company I got involved with cost $600. And we had a 7-year-old who believed in Santa Claus. So to me, the $700 on the credit card was nothing. If I didn't make this work, there was no Santa Claus. There was basically losing our house. Everything was on the line. Jeez. So I could play around with this. I couldn't be, I'll see if it works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I had everything on the line. And when I took that $700, and I want to share with your listeners something that happened to me. I took that $700, $600 of the $700, said to my husband, I will get this money back. This is what I commit to you. He was behind me 100%. And the most interesting thing happened. Remember, I was a filmmaker. Well, I had equipment, and I had a microphone that was worth $600 that I had completely forgotten about. I had no idea that I had it. And a man came to my door knocked on the door and said, I understand you have a microphone for sale. I had not advertised that microphone. I didn't know. I had forgotten I had the microphone. He somehow had heard that I had this microphone or knew somehow, and I said yes, and I figured out that it was worth about $600, and he paid me the $600. I had my $600 from getting that business back within 3 days.
What?
And I believe, you could not convince me otherwise, that was divine intervention, because I had taken that leap of faith. I had stepped out on faith that this was the right thing for me to do, and I believe that man coming to the door, because again, I've never seen him before, never saw him after, don't know where he came from. He bought my microphone and basically kept me afloat. And by the way, I made an additional $1,000 from that business that month. Went on to save our house. Went on to earn not a great living in that other company, but a good living, and went prepaid legal at the time, bought that company, and I brought a few of the people across with me from that company. I made $8,000 my first month in prepaid legal, and never looked back. I made hit my six-figure ring. We give people a ring when they hit their first six figures in $100,000 in a 12-month period. I did that in my 18th month in the company, and have consistently made that kind of money ever since. Made $1 million in my first 10 years. So it all happened, but it all happened when I took that leap of faith. I stepped out on faith, and that faith was I believed in myself. Fortunately for me, my husband believed in me, and I believed in the concept. By the time I had stepped into network marketing, I had done a little reading, I'd looked at it, and I really believed that it was the right thing for me to do, and I believe it's the right thing for a lot of people too. And it's just a shame that the press and people listen to their brothers and their sisters and their cousins and people. Yeah. And they haven't had success, so they assume that they can't have success, and that's a shame.
Right. Man, that is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, going in.
And wonderful. And join us for our next part of another fantastic interview with our great guest, with another amazing Atlanta business owner. In the next video.